All right, so we'll go ahead and begin. Welcome to this practice. My name is Carly. It's quite a treat. We have Trudy visible. So this will be a Yin Yoga practice. If you don't already have these few items, I suggest you go ahead and grab them before we get settled in. I would suggest a couple of pillows, a couple of folded blankets. Of course, if you have yoga props like bolsters and blocks, that can all come in handy as well. And of course, if you don't have any of that, that's okay too. We just work with what we've got. So just a quick little welcome, since I am offering this through Bhav Brigade. Friendly reminder for folks who are new to Bhav, or if it's been a while, everything we offer with Bhav Brigade is donation-based. It's a basically pop-up collective of yoga teachers, mostly in the Hampton Roads area, but we've kind of dispersed as people have moved on. The idea is that we think wellness, and especially something as ancient as yoga, should be accessible to anyone who wants it without any financial restrictions or limits to accessibility. So with that said, this is a donation-based offering, and at least 25% of the donations that we collect will benefit Samaritan House, which is local to Hampton Roads where I live. Samaritan House is a nonprofit supporting victims of violence and homelessness. And then what is Yin Yoga? So why are we here? In short, Yin Yoga is really slow stretching. Longer description would be that it works deeply into our fascia and connective tissues. So Yin Yoga is a slow-paced style of yoga that focuses on holding postures for longer periods of time, typically 3 to 10 minutes each. It targets deep connective tissues like our tendons and ligaments, and promotes flexibility and relaxation while encouraging a meditative state of mind. Another way to explore it is acknowledging that it incorporates principles of traditional Chinese medicine with the asanas, or the poses that are held for longer periods of time than in other styles of yoga. It's conceptualized in the Taoist and Dharmic traditions combined. So the sequences of postures are meant to stimulate the channels of the subtle body, known as meridians in Chinese medicine, and known as nadis in Hatha Yoga. A big thing to think about is that we don't want to be in any pain. This is a principle of the functional yoga that I like to teach and practice myself, but it's always true. It's especially true when we're holding these poses for longer periods of time. So if you're there and something begins to hurt, like actual pain or a sharp feeling, that's when we want to back out of it. If something's just a little bit different or uncomfortable, then it's your choice to explore it or to back out. Please do not hurt yourself. Take responsibility for taking care of yourself. Also, I will give at least 2 demonstrations for each pose, and there is no wrong way to do it. So part of the functional aspect is I'll let you know what our goal is. So for example, our goal is to stretch the backs of the legs or the hamstrings, and then we'll explore shapes. If you're doing something different than what I'm demonstrating, that's totally okay. We're just going to look for stretches in those areas that I mentioned. I think that's it. So hopefully you have some water, blankets and pillows. Before we get settled into Yin, I will invite us to stand up and do just a little bit of movement, starting with the lymphatic drainage Big 6 from Dr. Perry Nicholson. So standing comfortably, feet comfortable distance beneath you, soften your knees, and then we'll bring the right hand to the left collarbone area. A couple fingers above the collarbone, a couple fingers below, and rub side to side. Tap lightly and slap a little. And then we'll do that to the other side. So now your left hand to your right collarbone area, rubbing the skin side to side. Breathe while you do this. Light little tapping and then slapping. Good. Maybe you can reach both at the same time. A little extra credit. And then we'll bring our hands up to our jaw. So a couple fingers in front of the ear, maybe 1 or 2 fingers behind the ear on each side. And same thing, we'll stretch the skin so you can make little backwards circling motions. And gently tap. Big breath in and out. Good. We'll come on to our chest and armpit area now. So with your right hand, you can dip into the left armpit, massaging it in towards the chest. Good. And then tapping, slapping. So why are we doing this? Since we are going to be pretty still, go ahead and switch sides. We're just giving our lymphatic system a little bit of a boost. Our lymphatic system basically functions based on our movement of muscles. And slap that right armpit. Good, then bring your hands to just beneath your rib cage. Gently press in and let's take a few big breaths here. Pressing in, maybe rubbing a little side to side. Big breath in. And breathe out, pressing in. We'll take another big breath in, keep pressing in. And let it go. Wonderful. Hands to your groin area that creases when we sit down. And we'll just rub up and down. Couple big breaths. And tap. Good. Then back behind the knees. So you can bend your knees, fold forward to reach. And we're just rubbing the space behind the knees, especially these last two spots, the groin and behind the knees. Think about when we're seated, those areas are totally blocked off and stagnant. So this is a really good way to keep things flowing. Our lymphatic system helps with our immunity, overall well-being and energy. Give those knees a tap. Good. And now, comfortably wide stance, soften the knees, and let's shake out the arms. If there's any pain in the finger joints when you do this, you might take Mushti Mudra or a gentle fist. Otherwise, let your fingers shake out too. Good. And if this feels okay, you might add on bouncing. Nice, gentle bounces. You can let the shoulders lift up and drop down. Invitation to breathe deeply. A few more breaths. You can always sigh it out, and you might notice if sighing doesn't feel comfortable to you. Maybe you feel like you're silly, or you'll be judged if there's someone around you, or if there's no one around you. And maybe you do it anyway and just see how it feels. Literally freeing up some energy in the throat, creating vibration in the body. Good. If it feels okay, lift the arms up overhead. We'll take 3 more breaths, shaking it out. One more big breath in, and when you breathe out, imagine you just got into really cold water. Shake it out. All right, and then let's stand in stillness. You could close your eyes if you're feeling steady here, and soften the shoulders. Notice how you're feeling. This slower yin practice will give us lots of time to reflect on that. What are you feeling and where? Feeling sensation is worth noting. Feeling a lack of sensation is also worth noting, and it's fine. Okay, we'll go ahead and come on down to our mats, or you can practice this in your bed as well. And to start, we will begin with Shavasana, my kind of yoga class. So you can set things out of the way unless you like maybe a blanket or a pillow under your knees or under your head, or you could even cover up with a blanket. And let yourself settle in to a comfortable Shavasana. So in this corpse pose, our legs are extended, arms are extended. But of course, take everything I say as just a suggestion. Maybe you know that your body really prefers to have one or both feet on the ground. Maybe you want your arms stretched out more. What would happen if you took great care of yourself? What would happen if you listened deeply to what your body is asking for and you gave it to yourself? Maybe layer by layer you could let go just a little more. And if it feels like the body is resistant to letting go, that's okay too. We're going to practice not being critical of ourselves. And if that feels impossible, then we can practice just noticing and calling out any critical thoughts. Breathing in, you could think to yourself, I am worthy. Breathing out, I am enough. Resting here a moment longer. I'll share a poem from Dana Fald's, Enough. It's enough to offer love, no matter how imperfectly received or given. It's enough to try and fail at a difficult task. Enough to fall and rise, stumble, fall again, sigh, and start to walk, however slowly, in the direction the soul points. It's enough to seek peace and find pain, to gain nothing but a vision of truth and take the long route home. It's enough to feel temptation, the dance of the senses, the hot pull of desire. Enough to call on the universe, walk through fire, sleep and cry and fear or welcome dying. It's enough to be and breathe, to feel the touch of wind on skin. It's enough to take the day as it comes, to watch the ripples on the lake as the rock sinks to the bottom, to see the wild reflection of the surface calm into a mirror once again. It's enough to hear the voice of fear and hide, or seek it out and face the shame or shadows. It's enough to set out to tame demons and watch them multiply instead. It's enough to be buffeted by the winds of change and not blown over. I and you and all of us, more than enough. From Shavasana, you can keep your legs extended if they're extended, or you can bend your knees and put your feet on the ground. Let's try bringing one hand to our chest area, one hand to the belly area. If the hand that's on the chest feels like the elbow or arm is kind of hovering and can't quite reach the ground, you might grab a pillow or a blanket to rest under that arm. That way you're supported. And then we'll focus on our breath. Breathing here, just notice that the body is breathing. If this noticing doesn't feel good tonight, then you are welcome to instead notice the textures your skin can feel, or the sounds your ears can hear. If it's okay to be with the breath, let's observe it with no judgment. Where in the body is the breath? Does it feel like it's coming in and going evenly, rhythmically? Or is it less consistent, less smooth? Again, no judgment. Let's see if we can relax our jaw and our neck and our shoulders. Relax your belly. And breathe in through your nose so gently that the muscles of your neck and chest stay completely relaxed. So we're having the diaphragm do the work for us. Gently taking your time. There's no rush. Breathing in. And when it's time for you, breathe out. Nice and slow breaths. The neck and shoulders and chest are all relaxing. See if you can fill up from the bottom to the middle to the top. Anytime you notice the mind getting distracted or pulling away to thoughts or making lists, just gently bring it back to this breath. You can stay with this slow, full breath, or we'll start a more rhythmic breath, breathing in for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In 4, out 6, in, out through the nose or the mouth, in, out. In, out. In, out. Good. Now we can bring both hands to our hip area. You might need to move the blanket or pillow if you put one under your arm. Hands resting on your hips. All of us can put our feet on the ground, knees pointing up at the sky, and we'll start to rock our pelvis. So just like we do in cow and cat, but we're doing it from the ground. Rocking the pelvis so arching the back, lifting the low spine off of the ground, and then pressing it down to the ground. As we give this a try, our goal here is to just bring a little bit of mobility into the lumbar area. There's very dense fascia or connective tissue down here, but it's not immovable. You might notice any thoughts or emotions coming up. This region is a tricky one for some folks. In yogic tradition, it's associated with our two lowest chakras, our sense of safety, security, also creativity, sexuality. And in some societies and cultures, there could, of course, be some shame tied up in all of that. So anything that comes up, you can also consider, maybe this isn't mine. Maybe this is someone else's idea. Go ahead and give yourself another tilt or two. And then come to stillness. And imagine you could hike your left hip up to your left shoulder. Just imagining little pelvic tilts to the side. Bring it back through neutral. And imagine you could lift your right hip all the way up to the right shoulder. And bring it back to neutral. Okay, we'll roll onto one side and find tabletop. So hands and knees. We won't be here too long, but for some people it might feel good to put a blanket under the knees. When you arrive, right into cow and cat. So inhaling drops the belly down, stretching the belly muscles, Vidalasana. Exhaling arches the spine up, Marjaryasana, cat pose. Do that a few times. And now let's move freely. So maybe you want to draw some circles. Maybe look over one shoulder and then the other. All right, and you can go ahead and sit comfortably to see our first real yin pose now. We'll be taking a twist. The first option I'll demonstrate is if you were to take it from seated. So sitting up, feet on the ground, we'll let our knees fall to one side, let the torso keep lifting and rotating, and then eventually we will land on the ground or our pillows or blankets. The other option, so that was seated, twisting to one side and reclining down. The other option would be to take it from reclined, lying on your back, letting your knees fall to one side, arms can open out wide. If you choose this one, lying on your back, I've found that I really like to put a pillow or a blanket under my low back and hips. Just because you have whatever range you have available to you doesn't mean you have to go to that full extent. I'm finding that about 30% feels good in my yin practice. You might find something different. All right, letting yourself get settled in. We will be here for about 4 minutes and then we'll switch to the other side. If anything feels uncomfortable or like it needs to be adjusted, give that to yourself. You deserve to be comfortable here. Good. And if the eyes are open, just a gentle encouragement to let them close. Seeing how that feels. If it feels best to keep them open, maybe you can do it softly. And once you feel settled in enough, you're welcome to return to that slow, gentle breath in, letting the neck, the shoulders, the chest stay relaxed. Breathing in, I am worthy. Breathing out, I am enough. Moving slowly and gently, let's begin to switch sides. And as you come into this twist on the other side, keep in mind we're not symmetrical animals. So it's possible that you'll need different accommodations. Again, give yourself what you need. And once you settle in, ask yourself, can I relax here? Can the jaw soften? The face? The shoulders? A soft breath travels in gently. I am worthy. It travels back out. I am enough. What do you feel? And where do you feel it? Noticing if you've been caught up with thoughts. Gently bringing yourself back to this breath, this sensation. What's here now? Slowly sitting up and releasing your twist. Next, we'll be targeting our glutes and IT band, so the hips and the outer sides of the legs. The first option is called shoelace. I'd say one version of it is attempting to stack your knees, so like Gomukhasana, cow face pose. For some of our bones, this is never a good idea or an option. So from there, you could try Agni Stambhasana, fire log. Again, for some of our bones, that's just not so sweet. You could also try crossing your legs, loose shoelace. You could even bring the legs away from each other a bit. They call this broken shoelace. And then we'll be leaning forward, looking for a stretch in the gluteal muscles, the hips, and the IT band. So for me, I like to pile a pillow and a blanket in front of me as I do this. And we'll do about 2 minutes on each side. If this seated option is not feeling good for you, another option would be to recline and take figure 4. They call it eye of the needle. That would be crossing one leg over the other and drawing the legs in towards your chest. My personal favorite. Not that that matters at all, but that made me remember we'll be here just a little bit longer. And if you are someone whose body really loves pigeon pose, that would also be appropriate here. Just keep in mind you have props and tools available to you. All right, settling in for another couple moments. As you're settled in or settling in, ask yourself, can I relax here? Maybe there's some way you could support yourself. It is possible that in addition to ambient music, you're getting the ambient sound of a dog snoring. We can let it all be a reminder for us to just keep breathing. Now let's take a few more breaths on this side. And slowly release. Pause for a moment. And then we'll switch sides. Again, keeping in mind you might need to prop yourself differently or maybe take a completely different version. We're looking to target the hips, gluteal muscles, and IT band. Once you settle in, ask yourself, can I relax here? Breathing in, I am worthy. You deserve this rest. Breathing out, I am enough, just as I am. Gentle but full breath. A few more breaths here. Let's slowly release those stretches and come into a rebound. So lying down in Shavasana, we'll be here for just a moment, resting, noticing how your body feels. Maybe there are areas of warmth or coolness, tingling or pulsing. A slow, full breath, filling up from the bottom to the middle to the top, and then letting it go. And again. All right. From your Shavasana rebound, roll onto one side and press yourself up. Now we'll be stretching our adductors or the inner thigh muscles. So I'll show a few options here. The first is butterfly or Baddha Konasana. For this one, it might feel nice to put blankets or pillows under your knees and then fold forward, of course, supporting yourself with blankets or pillows if that's helpful. Another option would be dragonfly or a wide leg forward fold. Keep in mind, again, we don't have to go all the way. We want to be able to relax in whatever position we take. If neither of these are hitting the spot, another option would be a frog pose or a wide leg child pose. So for that, bringing basically into tabletop, bringing the knees out wide, and with or without pillows and blankets, folding yourself down. Just keep in mind our goal here is to feel a stretch on the upper inner legs, the thigh area. And let yourself get settled in, asking, can I relax here? So no straining is necessary in our Yin Yoga practice. About 4 minutes here. Take care of yourself. Can I relax? Just do the best you can. As you breathe, notice the sensations you feel. Notice that maybe they transform ever so subtly as the breath comes in, as the breath departs. Not analyzing, not judging, just taking note. What's here in every moment? Another minute. Is there anything that could soften just a little more? Slowly releasing your adductor stretch. Let's come into a rebound. So again, coming into Shavasana for just a moment or so. Lying down and noticing. Aware of any thoughts or emotions that come up without judgment, just making space. Good. Let's slowly come to sit up. And now we'll be stretching our hamstrings or the backs of our thighs. At least two options here. The first would be half butterfly, so bending one leg, or Janu Shirshasana, head to knee pose. So bending one leg, placing that foot on the upper inner thigh or in that direction, and then folding forward and down. Again, we want to be able to relax, so maybe we bring in pillows or blankets. Another option would be half frog pose. So for this one, we bring the foot back by the hip. For some of us, it might feel good to put a blanket or pillow under that knee. It's okay if it's a little lifted, as long as there's no pain. If you have feelings about bringing the leg in this direction, you might give it a try just to see how it feels. It's good for us to move our bones and joints in all the directions they can go. Of course, no pain though, no pain. All right, get yourself settled and good enough with one leg extended, the other leg bent, and we'll be here for a few minutes. Again, our target is looking for a stretch in the back of the upper thighs, the hamstring area. Breathing in, you know that you're here now, breathing in. Breathing out, you know you're here now, breathing out. Staying for another couple minutes. Sometimes you might be noticing also that as we stay, you can remove some props, but you don't have to. Let's slowly release this stretch. We'll go right into the other side. So stretching out the other leg, bending the opposite knee. Find an angle that works well enough for you. As you settle in, ask yourself, can I relax? Can I relax here? Breathing deeply. Stay with it another moment. Slow breath in. Let it go. Releasing this stretch. Let's rebound in Shavasana. Lying down for a moment, noticing. What do you feel? Slowly, let's sit back up. And I'll demonstrate our last poses. So we'll have two options. The idea will be to stretch the side body. If you have blankets and pillows or a bolster, you can stack them. Sitting with them at one hip, we'll drape our side over. And then you might stretch your top arm up and over also. I like to put a blanket under my head, that way my arm can also rest on it. So that's one option. We call this mermaid. If you don't have these tools or if they don't feel good, then another option would be Vanasana. So like a banana shape. For that, we would lie on the ground, stretching the arms up overhead. Pick up the shoulders, move them to, we'll say, the left side, maybe cross the right ankle over the left. So again, we're getting a side body stretch. Choose which one makes the most sense for you. And we'll be here for a few minutes. So in many of these poses, you might notice while we're stretching one area, we're also compressing another area. And you might explore how it feels to breathe into that area that's compressed. Let's stay with it another minute. Breathe deeply, and we'll switch sides. So stretching out the other side of your body. As you settle in, ask yourself, can I relax here? Just do the best you can. As you breathe, you might see how it feels to notice the areas that are being compressed, whether that's the side body underneath, or if you're lying on your back body. Notice as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Another minute. All right, let's release. And now we'll make our way to our rebound and our last Shavasana. So if you want to support yourself any extra way, you can. I'm going to go ahead and turn the music down. All right, this way we can enjoy a silent Shavasana. Let yourself get settled in. And as you rest in your Shavasana, notice, what are you feeling? Where are you feeling it? And let's notice the parts of your feet connected to the ground. And the lower legs. The space behind your knees. Notice your upper legs. Your hips and pelvis. Notice the area of your belly, your sides, your low back, your upper back, beneath your armpits, the front of your chest. Notice the throat, the neck, the shoulders, your upper arms, around your elbows, your lower arms, your wrists, your hands. Notice the insides of your hands. Sweep your attention back up the arms to the neck and shoulders, to the back of your head, softly sinking into the ground, supporting you. The jaw is soft. The cheeks and eyes are soft. The forehead, temples, crown of your head soften. As you breathe, sense the space just beyond your physical body. And then the space beyond that. And then beyond that. Let us know peace. For as long as the moon shall rise, for as long as rivers shall flow, for as long as the sun shall shine, for as long as the grass shall grow, let us know peace. A prayer from the Cheyenne Indigenous people. Allow yourself to savor the final moments of your practice. Slowly, with curiosity, bringing some movement into your body, tapping your fingertips together, circling your wrists and ankles. You are welcome to stay reclined if you are ready to drift to sleep. If you'd like to sit up and join me in chanting one round of the sacred sound of Om, you're welcome to join me. If you would like to chant, you can place one or both hands over your heart, or you could draw your hands together in this universal gesture of reverence and prayer. We can all take a breath in and let it go. One breath in for Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May there be peace, peace, peace. A deep bow of gratitude to you. And a deep bow of gratitude to the ancient teachers and teachings. I hope you have a peaceful rest of your day. Thank you for being here.